About 6 months ago, I made a review video talking about my brand new Kobo Clara black and white, and that video recently has been getting a lot of traction and comments, and I got a comment from someone named Justin asking if I could do a little update talking about how or if I still like it and I'm enjoying my Kobo. So this is my update talking about if I still like it and if I would recommend it. Once again, just to recap from my previous video, this is my very first personal e-reader. I've played with Kindle and Nook before, but I've never had my own. So this is my very first e-reader. So one of my main reasons for choosing Kobo over Kindle, for example, is just because I didn't quite frankly want to support Amazon more than I need to. I mentioned this sort of in my previous video, but books for Amazon are a major loss leader. Obviously, they kind of use that as a way to get people's foot in the door to spend more money. Also, they kind of are destroying and undercutting indie bookstores and stuff like that. So yeah, like we don't need to, support that any more than we need to. So that's why my number one reason for going with Kobo is probably because of that. Also, when I thought about how I wanted to get books and read books, I just really thought I'm most likely going to be getting them through Libby, through my library system, and probably not buying them because for me, the joy of buying a physical book is so much better than an ebook. So I still have not purchased an ebook on here, and I'll get to that later in the video, but I still haven't purchased anything. I've only used Libby through this, but the library Libby integration through Kobo is a lot smoother than Kindle, even though Kindle's not that big of a deal. It's just one extra step of having to get it from Libby through your Amazon account, then updating it to your Kindle, whereas this just I can search my library system through my e-reader without having to go to Libby or anything like that, or to different accounts and downloading it to my e-reader. It's just all integrated. And just for me, just having that like little extra step is just like, it's just one more thing that just makes you kind of not want to use your e-reader, I feel like. And like, why make it harder to read? Reading's supposed to be fun, like, hello. So I felt like it was just an unnecessary extra step when it's already in my e-reader. Like I said, I haven't purchased a book yet on my e-reader, so I can't really speak to that experience on here. I will say this is the purchasing page, the ebook page on here. It has a nice little daily ebook deal recommended based off of other stuff you read. You can also have a wish list. It seems all very nice. I just, like I said, if I'm gonna buy a book, I think I would rather buy a physical book. And where we live, there's so many thrift stores. We have nice resale bookshops that I can go to, nice indie bookshops I can go to. Like I love the experience of just going to a bookstore or going to the library and getting a physical book. That like sometimes wanting to like buy an ebook is difficult because there is that level of like, I purchased a book, but I also don't necessarily own anything. Like I know you can download stuff or whatever. I don't know how to do that, but I have not purchased any books. Like I said, I think I would just rather own a physical book if I was gonna purchase books, but there are some good deals on here. Like even right here, Song of Achilles for $2. That sounds great, but I already have that book, that physical book. And I got it from a resale shop for like the same amount. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, why would I buy the ebook? I don't know. I'm just not quite there yet with like wanting to buy the ebooks. So I still can't speak to that experience, but I'm sure it's fine. And I think that point kind of bleeds into one of my cons for the e-reader. And this is not a specifically Kobo thing. I think this is a specifically me thing, is just I've had a hard time choosing to read books on this. I haven't used it as much as I have wanted to, but that is definitely not a Kobo thing and a Kobo issue. That is a me issue. I just haven't gravitated towards reading on this as much as I would like. I've read a few books on here, books that I got from my library that I kind of was maybe a little embarrassed to pick this book up from the library and read it out in public or anything, and that is the Heated Rivalry series. I read the first two books, Game Changer and Heated Rivalry. I read some kind of like smutty romance books on here because obviously you're not gonna see what I'm reading from the back or anything. I will say it's nice if you're reading a book that like maybe you're too embarrassed to go get from the library or buy or read in public or something. Like it's kind of nice to like be able to read something that maybe is a little embarrassing, even though I know those are popular books, but I'm like, I'm a little too embarrassed to read those out in public or anything. So I got them through my library on my Kindle, and I will say I got them really quickly. It was kind of nice. I like, being able to adjust the font size and, stuff like that to be able to just like get through it faster. I feel like it did help me get through those books like really quickly. I finished them within like a few days. When I do read on this, I feel like I do get through books really, really quickly because I don't have that physical reminder of how many pages I'm working through. So I think that's also a great thing. Like if you're wanting to read a really massive book, like I think whenever I go to read like The Count of Monte Cristo or something like that, I'm probably going to read it on here only because like those books are just so ginormous that it's just to physically read that I feel like would be, it's like rewarding, but it's also like daunting in a lot of ways. I don't know, for me, like I would just feel like I was never getting through it. So I feel like when I go to read really big books, I'm definitely going to read them on here. Another thing I've struggled with that is a me problem for sure, but I took a trip somewhere and I said I was going to use this like when I go traveling and stuff like that. And I had a hard time wanting to take it with me because I was scared I was gonna ruin it. So I didn't take it with me, but that, you know, there's still vacations and stuff in the future that I can take it on. It was like one of the first times taking it anywhere and I was just like, I'm too scared. I'm too scared I'm gonna like break it or ruin it. I still have my case for it. Don't know if I like totally recommend this case. I mean, it's good for traveling and stuff like that. But yeah, I need to get over my fear of like ruining it and just take it places. So once again, a me problem, not a Kobo problem. And here's my second con for Kobo, and this is specifically about Kobo. That's been an issue for me, is that I have tried a couple times through my library, through Libby, to get certain books and I haven't been able, they just don't have a supported format through Kobo. I don't know why that is. For example, one of the books that I tried getting from the library was the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. And for some reason, those books, like I can only get the Spanish version of the first book, but I can't get like any English versions. And it's only, even the Spanish one is like only the very first book in the series. So don't know why. That's just one of the book series that I've noticed that like for some reason wasn't supported on Kobo. For a while, I thought it was maybe because I know Kindle has the rights for like Project Hail Mary audiobook. I didn't know if it was like Kindle, you know, Amazon maybe got to them first and has like exclusive rights for that book, which is annoying and another reason I don't like Amazon. But I don't think that's the case. I don't know why that book, especially considering how popular it is, and it's even getting its own like TV show and stuff. I'm like, why is it not supported on Kobo? I don't really understand. I don't know if they're working on that. I have no idea. But there's just like one book in particular that I've searched for and doesn't work on Kobo for some reason. I think there's other ones that I can't think of right now, but that's a pretty big one. It's a pretty big popular series right now, so I'm kind of surprised it doesn't work on Kobo. At least that's my experience through my library. Maybe it's different at other libraries, but oh, also, I know I said I was trying to get that book through Libby, but I also can't even purchase it within the ebook catalog that they have. So it's not even just like a my library problem. Like they don't even have it on the ebook library that they have through Kobo. The only book they have from that author is Operation Bounce House, which I think is like one of his newer books. Yeah, you can't get the Dungeon Crawler Carl series on Kobo. Kind of weird. Like I said, I think there's other series maybe or other books that I've looked for that I haven't been able to get through Kobo, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. That was just like the main one that I've been searching for because my husband also wanted to read it. For some reason, it just doesn't, I don't know, it's not on here yet. Don't know why that is. I think that's all really I had to say about it. I'm still enjoying it overall. I still highly recommend Kobo, especially if you're trying to avoid Kindle and Amazon. Highly recommend Kobo. Besides maybe a few holes in their catalog of ebooks and stuff, I would say I really haven't had an issue using it. I'm still only 6 months into using it, but I'm still really enjoying it, and I do not regret my purchase of the Kobo Clara black and white. Also, just a side note, I chose black and white at the time when I was going to purchase it because even though having a color version of an e-reader sounds fun, I just was like, there's probably no reason I'm going to need it to be colorful other than like just to have the pretty covers of books on my e-reader. Like when you're just reading pages of an ebook, that's not going to be colorful, and I'm not reading graphic novels. And I saw people say that the black and white was just a little bit crisper than the color ones if you're just going to just read a normal book. So that's why I went with black and white. But other than that, yeah, I really like it. Don't regret it. And highly recommend it if you're looking for an e-reader and don't want to support Amazon. And that's that on my review. So thank you for watching, and thanks for watching my last review, and I'll see you next time. Bye.